Hello guys! In case you've been struggling with Cave of Bad Dreams, or you just want to be fast in your Rayman 2 speedruns, you might consider the Cave of Bad Dreams skip. The downside is that this trick can be very hard and precise. You might have already seen Thorsin's great video on this topic, so that's why in this video I won't really go through the details and the background of why we are doing this skip, but rather give some advice and personal experience on how you might approach the version 2 of this skip, which in my opinion is by far the most consistent version of the 4 versions that we have of this skip. And of course, before we begin, the credit of these findings go to our friends Robin and Coco. So, what we want to do is that we see the death plane below us. We want to hit this death plane while being half out of bounds. If we hit this death plane while in bounds, we can see nothing interesting happens, so we need other means to approach this problem. And thankfully, we have the infinite barrel glitch, which I'm just gonna call IBG from now on, where we get hit by the barrel, try to fly with the barrel, and then crash the barrel while still having the iframe going on, and that should be it. Now we want to take kind of a wide line, and I'm gonna stop the video right here. So now, in front of us, we can actually see the death plane and the corner which we are interested in. I have drawn a small cross to indicate where we exactly want to land. So we can see that the cross is actually on the right hand side of the corner. So you don't want to land precisely on the corner, but rather you want to go a little bit to the right hand side of the corner. Also, you might want to keep kind of this downwards trajectory angle while approaching this corner. So let's see in practice how this is gonna go. We fly to the right hand side, and that's it. We know that we got the trick successfully down when we didn't see the death animation, which you normally see when you, for example, hit the thorns or hit the lava. You see these small particles flying around Rayman. But this time we didn't see it. But let's do it one more time. So you get hurt by the barrel, you fly, try to fast hit the wall, so you trigger this IBG. Here I'd like to take kind of a wide line in order to set myself better, to give myself more time to do the trick, aim at the corner, and that's it. Let's see in slow motion one more time. We hit the right hand side of the corner, Rayman disappears, you don't see anything, and you got it down. So once you successfully got the trick, you want to take this cage first, in case you haven't before. You want to trigger again the IBG, using the same mechanism, but now as we want to go to the end of the map, we take slightly different line, of course, and we can see the cutscene won't trigger, which normally triggers. And here the important thing is that let go of the imaginary barrel before you enter the stairway, otherwise bad things are gonna happen, which I'm gonna explain a bit later. If you are short on lamps, you might want to consider taking this cage. Doesn't cost too much time, but be careful that you don't go out of bounds. It can be easy to do. So here are the advice on what you should do. Next I'm gonna give you a few tips what you don't want to do. First, regarding the IBG, you don't want to stand on the way of the barrel, otherwise the barrel can push you too far and it will be hard for you to trigger the IBG. Also, you don't want to spam the barrel throws, because the dispenser is gonna take some time to pull off the new barrels, which will really compromise also your time when you are gonna trigger the IBG. So, regarding the flight itself, I told you that I want to take kind of a wide line, but don't take too wide of a line, otherwise this can happen, you're gonna trigger the cutscene way too early. Next, some things that can happen when you are trying to hit the sweet spot itself. If you trigger the cutscene a bit late, it means that you were a bit too high. Also, the opposite can happen. You are a bit too low and the cutscene triggers a bit too early. Also, what can happen is that you are too risky, you go too much to the right, and then also the cutscene, of course, triggers. And one thing that I see newcomers do a lot is that they go too much to the left. So they think that the sweet spot is in the corner, but that's not true. The sweet spot is actually a little bit right to the corner. And you can see that when you are a bit too much to the left, you can still see the death particles of Rayman, which indicates that the trick was not successful, and unfortunately you need to try again. One more thing I want to show you is that in case you actually got successful with the trick, there's one thing you really want to avoid, and that's soft locking. The soft locking can happen very easily if you don't let go of the barrel when you enter the stairway here. So this can happen. You are kind of inside the cutscene, but you keep just flying indefinitely till the end of the time. But yeah, that's all I wanted to advise on this skip. It can be a nice time save for your all masks or all cages runs. At least 3 or 4 minutes saved. Could be even more depending on how fast or slow your Cave of Bad Dreams is. If you enter the cutscene, a new attempt should take about 1.5 minutes. If you just die without triggering the cutscene, a new attempt takes maybe 30 seconds, so you can calculate yourself how much it would save in your case. Either way, this trick is still very precise. It took me a lot of hours to get at least half consistent at it. And also in your case, you won't get good just by looking at this video. One more thing, a very annoying thing can be the IBG movement. I like to counter it by spamming a lot of camera reset, as you might see. But you also might want to try just flying the barrel on your own without trying to trigger the glitch to get better at moving during the IBG. For example, in Tomb of the Ancients, you have quite an easy IBG to trigger. Or in my case, I did a lot of Echoing Caves ILs. But that's about it. I hope you learned something in this video. I hope your attempts will go fine. And I hope you will not see bad dreams anymore. See you